JMC presents Studio Talk number 11 in the second series, and it's the 23rd of January 21, and I thought it was time for Studio Talk. Probably my head is just at the edge of the frame, it's difficult. Anyway, Saturday, it's a Saturday, it's getting more and more overcast, it looks like rain's coming. And I just came back from the garden. We cut down the cherry tree, the old cherry tree, we cut it down to size with Manfred, he's got a chainsaw. And the tree fell a little over a week ago. At 1 o'clock in the morning, it was snowing. It was really wet snow, very heavy. And Emmy and I were taking a walk because I'd finished clearing snow from the yew trees on the street side. So 1 o'clock in the morning we take a walk, and just a few seconds after walking under the cherry tree, there was a crack like lightning, and the tree fell on the street, or so it seemed. I found out later that the tree actually split, and more than half of it fell in the garden, and just like a big branch fell on the road. Anyway, I had an hour's work sawing the branches off and clearing the road, basically, so that I wouldn't have to get the city to do that, and maybe, or the town, the municipality, and maybe have to pay for it anyway. So Manfred came with his chainsaw and cut it down to size so I can do with it what I want, make firewood, or it's really beautiful wood, but the tree was really old and getting rotten on the inside. I mean, brittle. It's very impressive. And I can feel the work I've been doing in the garden, because I was also sawing branches, the ones that I could saw with the handsaw. And I think I pulled some muscles in my chest yesterday. I can feel it. And I can feel my whole body aching. And oh, and I forgot to look at the time. Gonna have to do this. So, okay, just anyway. Yesterday I was on YouTube looking for something about Rembrandt, and then in the column of suggestions on the right side, there was an image of what looked like an extraterrestrial, like a being with a very big bald head and a very narrow pointy face. And it turned out it was Sam Berns, who's giving a lecture on his philosophy for a happy life. And the image intrigued me, so I listened to what Sam Berns had to say about this. And it turned out that he had a disease called progeria or something like this, which accelerates the aging of the body, so that at 17 he looked a good 90 years old. And in fact, I found out afterwards that he died a month after this lecture was filmed. And so you had this 17-year-old talking like a 17-year-old, except with much more self-confidence, much more presence. And I think he must have been in the habit of receiving a lot of attention, medical attention mostly, and talking about his sickness, because I don't think a 17-year-old with a massive problem can just jump on stage and rattle off a philosophy of life. But anyway, it's very sobering. Most people, I read some of the comments, you know, people saying I thought I had problems, and others realizing that they're wallowing in self-pity, like me, for example. And but still, there was something strange about it, like looking at that uncritically and thinking, well, yeah, gung-ho, just think positive, always have a goal in sight, and you'll get by, you'll get through, and you'll have a happy life. Well, my philosophy is a little bit different, because it says that I can imagine a life, I can imagine having a happy life, or a life with happiness in it, but I cannot imagine a life without unhappiness. And Sam, to be fair, he addressed that. He says, yeah, he goes through difficult times, and it's all he can do is say, I'm having a difficult time, and then try to come out of it. As I'm coming out of a difficult time last year with Monika's death, and having to live with that, and live with a new life because of Emmy on the one hand, and this corona stuff on the other hand, so that it's a completely new life. I'm alone, I haven't been with a partner for almost a year, with everything that implies, and at first it was really very difficult dealing with my death wish, for example. Just enough, I want out. But then Emmy being there, so I can't just step out, check out. I've got to take care of Emmy. Okay, so a reprieve, so to speak. Life gives me a reprieve, and then gradually finding myself actually in not such bad company, and getting interested in the things that I'm interested in anyway, but not subjecting myself to the stress of having to accomplish a big project, but just little stuff every day, just a little bit more, like the Rembrandt painting and the signatures, and I'm really making really good progress. It's very exciting. Although this week I had the experience of contacting a documentary filmmaker, on the one hand in Holland, who could not work on my project, and who passed me on to a producer who turns out could also not work on my project. So it's back to base, whatever it's called, back to go, and that was okay. I mean, my life would have been a lot different if they had said, okay, let's get on with it. Then I would have had to really be more concentrated. But I saw that I could, on the spur of the moment, just the information of a documentary filmer. Okay, I contact her. She says producer. I contact producer. I was able to function within 2 days. It was already done, and so it's not like because I couldn't complete any writing project, it's not like I can't do anything, can't finish anything. So it was very heartening. And now I think with the time left, I don't know how much time there is left, I'll check. I'm going to play. Let's see. Okay, we got just enough time for me to play my piece, Aria für Harmonika, dedicated of course to Monika. And I'll play the version with the melodica. I have to